Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics / Non-Classics. This is episode number 601 and Doubleshot 506. Yeah, post 600. So now we got more DC trades, alright? And this is going to be the first of two episodes in a row dealing with the supernatural of DC Universe. This one is Trinity of Sin, Phantom Stranger, Volumes 2 and 3. Alright, let's first talk about Volume 2. Now, those of you curious, where's Volume 1? I don't have it. The store got these from didn't have Volume 1, so let's stick with Volumes 2 and 3. Okay, this one collects issues 6 through 11 of the Trinity of Sin Phantom Stranger series. Well, it's the fourth volume of the series, but the way they have it set up in here, this is how they have it worded out. You see, originally it was called Phantom Stranger for the first 8 issues, and then starting with issue 9, the series was changed to Trinity of Sin. Yep. And it remained this for pretty much the rest of the series. I do have the second volume I'll talk about in a minute. This volume features, well, you see, the one thing nice about this series is that, with the exception of what characters in Justice League Dark and Constantine, this series basically introduction to several characters, bring a lot of characters post-Flashpoint into the post-Flashpoint universe. People like the Spectre, Trigon, his 3 sons, Raven made her first appearance in the series. That was all in the first one. Oh yeah, and also, the Question show up in here as well. Yes, the Question. Which, for some reason, DC made him a supernatural-based character. Yeah, I have no idea why in the world DC did this for, but they did. This one is mostly just deals with stuff dealing with the Phantom Stranger. Like, also, this happens. If you wonder who did that, that was Dr. 13, who is a younger guy and is not a skeptic. Yep, he's his best friend. And also, the Question pops up in here now. Those of you curious about the cover, like, okay, Dead makes sense, well, because just like Dark do guest started for a couple issues. But, like, okay, what's Batman Katana doing here? Well, there kind of is a reason for that, because issue 11 is a tie into Trinity War. Yep, that's essentially what that is. Now, there are several different cover. Now, there's like 2 writers in these issues. You have DC co-publisher Dan DiDio and Jane DeMatteis. DeMatteis did the entire run. DiDio left after, I think it was after this particular set of issues. I think that's when he left. But the artwork is done by several different artists. Gene Ha, Fred Bachalo, Matt Manchio, Philip Tan, Xander Cannon, Dan Davis, Andrew Dipley, and Jason Pez. The cover art is done by Gillian March. Fantastic artist, Gillian March is. Now, some of the cover art is done by people like Jay Lee. Yeah, that's the thing about this series. Like, a lot of these covers are done by different people. Like, the cover for, like, the first issue in here is done by Hyde and Layton. Yep. There's even covers by Jim Lee in here. And this overall was just a really good set of issues. This is called Breach of Faith. Now, the thing with Phantom Stranger post-Flashpoint is that they made him Judas Iscariot. No idea why DiDio thought this was a good idea. I'm going to ask him about when I get a chance to go to the Comic-Con, like, why in the world was... I'm going to ask 2 questions here, like, why in the world would why was Phantom Stranger made Judas Iscariot? And 2, why was the title changed Phantom Stranger to Trinity of Sin Phantom Stranger? I'm asking about that. But, yeah. Oh, those of you wondering about the spear he gets stabbed with, it's the Spear of Destiny. Yep, the same spear that pierced Christ at his crucifixion. Not kidding about that. One of several forms of fiction that loves using the Spear of Destiny. Legend of Tomorrow did for season 2. One of the I think it was the second Librarian film actually used the Spear of Destiny in that film as well. These overall are really good issues. Oh yeah, in Trinity of Sin issue, it's just, well, Phantom Stranger trying to bring back Dr. Light. Yeah, him and Kronos, for some reason, in the Just Like America book, they made them agents of Argus and named good guys. No idea why, though Dr. Light does come back a little bit later. Dr. Light was killed during the events of Trinity War, 30 years later came back. Also, at the end of issue 11, Phantom Stranger gets raised with resistance by Zor-El. Now, those who are curious, like, who is Zor-El? It's... okay. Zor-El was a character who was originally supposed to be Hawkman. Yes, Grant Morrison, these of course are some interviews I read online, is that he originally wanted to use Hawkman in his JLA run. But because of Hawkman's confusing backstory, he was banned from using the character, so he used the character Zor-El. And for some strange reason, he wrote a Hawkman Aquaman thought Zor-El was Hawkman, and throughout the majority of this particular series, Zor-El was a guy, a black guy, mind you, though later on becomes a woman. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course it's up with. He also had a human identity, Philip Stark. Yeah, that comes into play in here as well. Where he brings back his family, and it's a really good set of issues. I highly recommend it. 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. All right, next up is Kraken Creation, which collects issues 12 to 22 and the Future's End one shot. Yeah, 12 to 17. It's just a tie-in to Fairy Blight. Now in the case of the Trinity of Sin issue, that was fine because I kind of loosely tied into what was going on there. Here's kind of the thing. This book is really thick. There's like 12 issues in this damn thing, and I don't know why in the world they threw in the Fairy Blight issues. Now, Blight himself was a supporting character from Phantom Stranger. Yeah, his real name is Chris. Yeah, he was explaining he was killed during a battle Phantom Stranger had with another character. So Phantom Stranger brought this character back. And of course, also Nightmare Nurse, who in the previous volume was actually healed Phantom Stranger from an injury. Here, Phantom Stranger returns the favor. Yeah. Also in here, we also appearances by Felix Faust, Mr. E, Necron, who is later on become a vampire becomes Lord of Pain for some reason, despite the fact that constantly Hellblazer series restores into being the actual character that Mark Waid created for the Underworld Unleashed series. The thing with the first 6 issues, they're easily skippable because they're in the Fairy Blight trade. I mean, I don't know. I still don't get why in the world DC did this for. They just threw in the issues of Fairy Blight, despite the fact that you don't have a complete story here. You have like 6 parts of a long story. Yeah, they did the same thing in the last trade for Pandora, which I'll talk about next episode. The remaining issues. Okay. Well, first he brings back the character Dr. Light. He resurrects him with the help of Superman of all people. Yeah, he asked Superman for help and he got him back. And then of course what about the Future in one shots? Well, he got rid of all the. Well, he did ask during the course of Blight. He asked for help of the Sons of Trigon. Yep. Also, they popped up in the last trade where Doc 13 sent him on a wild goose chase. Yep. And he also has to try on the 30 pieces of silver on his neck. And they realized, though, yeah, we don't want these because these throw a lot of grief and stuff like that. Yeah, in the Future Sin one shot, he finally gets the last piece of silver to the ferryman, who was later revealed to be Philip Stark's wife. Yep. A woman that Phantom Stranger fell in love with. And, of course, we also have various characters who appeared as part of this council. Now, who are these characters? And this is, of course, part of Future's End. And no, this book has nothing to do with Future's End at all. Just something set 5 years in the future. Yep. Now, who is part of this group? We have Trigon, who is the leader of the group. Mr. E. We also have, let's see, what's his name here? I think it's Neron, Eclipso. Yeah, Eclipso. Sin Eater, who actually was a villain from this series. Yeah, he was a recurring villain in this series. Let's see. And Zor-El. I gotta say, really good lineup for this particular council. Yeah. And when the series ends, it ends on a good note, but you can still tell there's good stories. It's not it feels like a complete story, and that's basically what it is. And the way the series ended, it's like, okay, you could tell more stories, but it's not like you could. It left it open to tell more stories. But in the case of, I'll give Pandora next episode about my thoughts on that. But this overall was really good. I really enjoyed this, and I do recommend people who want to try out something different. Now, Phantom Stranger is not a really big character. That's the comics. Yes, he did appear on the show Brave and the Bold for about 1 episode, but he's not a violent character. The Spectre is. Yeah, the Spectre even pops up in here a couple times, which is interesting though. And also, the Spectre's got pants now. He's no longer the design that Joe Schumacher designed back in the Joe Shuster designed it back in the 40s. Yeah, he was second major character created after Superman, obviously. Now, who created the Phantom Stranger? Let me look it up for you. The Phantom Stranger was created by... Excuse me. Let's see. He was created by Karma Infantino, John Broome, and Cy Barry. Okay. Yep. So you have two people who worked on The Flash basically created this character. And he overall is a great character. It's just too bad he's not used very often anymore. I mean, after the series ended, he popped up in Trinity of Sin. Then he popped up in the last mini-series released for Swamp Thing, which was Volume 6 done by Lane Wein and Kelly Jones. Nothing Confirmed just won, the one that came after that. And that's it. That's really all DC. Now, this is basically all DC's done with this character over the course of the past 7 years. Have him appear in Justice League number 12. Appears in this series. Of course, Blight as well. Let's see, what else? Yeah, Blight, Swamp Thing, and that's it. That's really all they've done with this character in just 7 years. His last appearance was like a year ago. Yeah, and I'm like, where the heck is this guy? And why can't he be part of the new Justice League Dark that I believe is Trinity? Yeah, Trinity was doing it, which is great. The fact Trinity was doing Justice League Dark. I can't wait for that series to come out. Great artwork, great storytelling. I do recommend it. And also, they have this thing where, when it comes to the Freddy Blight tie-in, it kind of loosely does what they do in Pandora. It's like, okay, Phantom Stranger's knocked out, and then him, the Question, and Pandora just wakes up in a chamber that has... They're in the Rock of Eternity, of all places, with John Constantine, the Nightmare Nurse, and Swamp Thing. Yep. Yeah, that's something also happens during Blight as well. But next episode, I'm going to talk about Pandora. Yep. I give this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. And that's one thing great about this particular series, is that any known supernatural-based character who now it's like I would say a good chunk of them made their first appearance thanks to that particular title. Yeah, a lot of supernatural-based characters. I would say the only ones I can think of who never did were anybody who appeared in Justice League Dark and Constantine. This is basically like all the rest of the supernatural-based characters. See, almost every single one except for Baron Winters. Yeah, he actually popped up in Night Force series. Who did recently appear in the most recent volume of Secret 6. Alright, so that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, where more supernatural stuff. I'm going to talk about the Pandora series. Okay? But until I see you in the next episode, bye.